Here's one of the most useful AI coding findings I have seen all year. When researchers asked Claude models to build applications that should follow SOC 2 style security controls, the models did not reliably do the secure thing by default. Depending on the task, compliance in the neutral prompt condition ranged from roughly half the time to most of the time. But when the prompt explicitly mentioned SOC 2 style requirements, the results improved dramatically. In some cases, one extra sentence pushed performance close to perfect and removed insecure constructions that appeared before. That is a little terrifying, but it is also extremely actionable, because it means your AI coding agent may not be ignoring security because it cannot do security. It may be ignoring security because you never told it security was part of the task. So in this video, I'm going to explain why this matters, what developers are getting wrong when they prompt coding agents, and the one kind of sentence you should start adding to almost every serious AI coding request. Watch to the end because I will give you a simple prompt template you can use immediately. Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe for more like this. Now, back to the video. The big mistake is treating AI coding prompts like normal programming tickets. We say things like build a login form, create an API endpoint, add file upload, write a dashboard, make a user settings page. And technically those instructions describe the feature, but they do not describe the non-negotiables. They do not say validate inputs, avoid leaking secrets, use access control, do not log sensitive data, handle errors safely, protect against injection. Follow the security expectations of this code base. A human engineer might infer some of that from experience, but an AI coding agent is highly sensitive to what you make salient. If you ask for speed, it optimizes for completion. If you ask for a feature, it optimizes for the feature. If you ask for a working demo, it may optimize for something that appears to work. And unless the harness, system prompt, repo instructions, or your own prompt make security explicit, the model may treat security as optional background noise. That is the lesson. The model may know secure patterns, but knowing something and prioritizing it are different. This also explains why so many AI-generated vulnerabilities feel obvious after the fact. You look at the code later and think, why did it put the API key there? Why did it trust that request body? Why did it skip authorization on this route? Why did it expose that error message? And the answer is usually not that the model has never seen secure code. The answer is that the task frame rewarded the wrong thing. You asked for a working endpoint, so it made the endpoint work. You asked for a quick prototype, so it used a shortcut. You asked for a demo, so it optimized for demo ability. You asked it to fix the failing test, so it fixed the failing test and did not inspect the surrounding threat model. AI agents are very good at following the scent of the task. If the scent points toward make the visible error disappear, they may do exactly that. So security prompting is not just about adding a buzzword, it is about changing what success means. You're telling the agent, do not consider this done just because the happy path works. That one shift can change the shape of the entire implementation. You can also use this as a review habit. Before accepting an AI-generated change, ask a second question. What would make this unsafe? That question is simple, but it changes the mode of thinking. Instead of only checking whether the feature exists, you're checking how the feature can fail. For a login flow, unsafe might mean account enumeration, weak rate limits, poor session handling, or confusing error messages. For a file upload, unsafe might mean trusting the file extension, storing files in the wrong place, allowing oversized uploads, or failing to scan content. For an admin dashboard, unsafe might mean missing authorization on one endpoint, even though the page itself is hidden. For an API key feature, unsafe might mean logging secrets, returning full keys after creation, or storing them without hashing. That kind of thinking is exactly what neutral prompts often omit. So make it explicit twice, once before implementation, once before acceptance. Ask the agent to build securely. Then ask the agent or a separate verifier where the implementation could still be unsafe. That turns security from a vague aspiration into a concrete part of the workflow. The final trick is to make this reusable. Do not rely on remembering the perfect sentence every time. Put it in your project instructions, put it in your agent rules, put it in your pull request checklist, put it wherever your AI coding workflow begins. The goal is to make secure defaults boring. If every serious task starts with security in scope, the agent has fewer chances to treat it as an afterthought. This is not unique to AI. Human teams behave the same way. If a product manager says, we need this shipped by Friday, engineers hear that. If nobody mentions threat modeling, logging, permissions, abuse cases, or compliance requirements, those things may get pushed to later. AI coding agents compress that same problem into a single prompt. They are powerful, fast, and sometimes dangerously literal about what matters. So when you write build a password reset flow, the agent may build a password reset flow, but did you say tokens should expire? Did you say tokens should be single use? Did you say not to reveal whether an email exists? Did you say rate limiting matters? Did you say reset links should not be logged? Did you say the implementation must match security best practices already used in this repository? If not, you may get something that passes a demo and fails a review. And this is where the research becomes useful instead of just scary. The intervention was not a 40-page security policy. It was making the requirement explicit, something as simple as, Implement this feature while following SOC 2 style security controls and avoiding insecure constructions. That kind of sentence changes the frame. Now, the model knows security is not a bonus. It is part of the task, and the output changes. This is one reason I think every serious team using AI coding agents should maintain a short security prompt block, not a giant legal document, not a ritual. A compact instruction that gets included whenever the agent touches production code. For example, treat security, privacy, and maintainability as requirements, not optional improvements. Follow existing project patterns for authentication, authorization, validation, secrets, logging, and error handling. Do not introduce insecure shortcuts for the sake of making the feature work. That is not magic. It will not guarantee perfect code, but it points the agent at the right target. And if your team has real requirements, include them. If you care about SOC 2, say SOC 2. If you care about HIPAA, say HIPAA. If you care about PCI, say PCI. If you care about OWASP, say OWASP. If your code base has internal security rules, put them in the agent instructions. Do not expect the model to read your mind. The second takeaway is that tests are not enough. Most normal tests check whether the feature works. They do not check whether the feature is safe. A login endpoint can pass functional tests and still leak information. A file upload can pass tests and still allow dangerous file types. An admin route can render correctly and still miss authorization. An API can return the right JSON and still expose another user's data. So if you use AI agents, your verification layer needs security-specific checks. Ask the agent to write security tests. Ask it to list abuse cases. Ask it to inspect its own diff for unsafe patterns. Ask it to identify what data is sensitive. Ask it to explain how access control is enforced, and then crucially verify that yourself. Because the goal is not to make the AI sound responsible. The goal is to make the code safer. There's also a deeper lesson here about AI defaults. People keep asking whether AI coding agents are good at security. That question is too broad. A better question is, under what instructions, workflow, tools, and evaluation does the agent produce secure code? Because the same model can behave differently depending on the prompt and harness. Neutral task prompt, maybe insecure. Security-aware prompt, much better. Repo-specific security rules, better, again. Automated scanning, tests, review, and human oversight, now you're building an actual workflow. That is the future of AI coding. Not trusting the model, structuring the environment so the model is more likely to do the right thing and less likely to get away with the wrong thing. So here's the prompt I would start using. Implement this as production code. Security, privacy, and maintainability are required. Follow the existing project patterns for authentication, authorization, validation, secrets, logging, error handling, and tests. Do not use insecure shortcuts. After the implementation, review your own diff for security risks and list anything I should manually verify. That one paragraph will not save you from everything, but it is dramatically better than build this feature, and that is the point. AI coding agents do not just need tasks, they need priorities. If security matters, say it. If compliance matters, say it. If correctness matters more than speed, say it. Because the agent may be capable of writing safer code, but if your prompt only rewards done, do not be surprised when secure disappears.